Hey guys, how's it going? January 11th, 2019 with my son here.
Hello.
Hello. And we're just one of these stormy afternoons because I got rainfall warning, so it ain't gonna get any better. At least it's not snowing. That's all I can say for January. That's good for around here. 11 degrees. That's crazy Celsius. That's pretty warm. So we were out last night. We got our little train fix, if you call it that. And there's my notification. So, yes, I am on the air. So, what I'm looking at doing here is I'm thinking of different ideas as far as what I can do next or what we can create next. I could keep on going back to the well with Run 8 so many times, and it's nothing. It's not Run 8's fault. It's just Run 8 is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's Run 8.
It's Run 8. Unfortunately, my son's never been interested in it that much, really. And perhaps he foreseed he got bored of it quicker than I did, but I haven't really got bored of it. It's just unfortunately the lack of community. And you take a look at the community page, as I've said, it's pretty ridiculous. Everybody, you either have to be on the big sites or there's nothing. And I mean, there's a few others that are out there that are doing okay, but there used to be such a selection out there, and now it's feast and famine, I think. But anyways, that has nothing to do with Run 8 itself. They're doing what they can do. So I got no hard feelings with Run 8. It is what it is. It's given me plenty of entertainment, and I'll continue to push. I could be running. My rail driver is here. I could do Run 8 tonight. I could do Run 8 next week. I could do Run 8 in a month from now. I may not do it all year. It's hard to say right now how I feel exactly. Scott and Smiley have been really the closest things I have to anything left of doing anything with anybody. So that is what it is. And I wish there was more to it, but there isn't. And as far as developing an RTS2 for Freight Yard Manager, but for Run 8, that's kind of ill-conceivable considering I've already purchased TSCAD, which was kind of a waste of money. Nothing to do with TSCAD. Buyer beware. They warned you right ahead of time. If you didn't like it, you weren't going to get a refund or whatever. So I purchased a lot for it. It didn't work out the way I was hoping it would with the Southwest server. Those are things. No hard feelings with the Southwest server. I just don't want to be in the way. My mind changes too often. So anyways, now that we got the negative out of the way, let's focus, or the past, let's focus on the future, or at least try to come up with some ideas here. I've got a couple things open. I've got Google Earth Pro, which is, this is a good one. Now, what I'm looking at here, actually, this is actually a very rare photo of Port Robinson Yard, very empty. I'm not too sure why it's that empty. This was from July 8th, 2018. So I don't know if they were using Fort Erie a little bit more then, or this was just at the time of day when all the trains were not here. But Port Robinson usually has quite a bit more cars than that, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
easy.
So this is the closest operational yard in my area. I would say operational as in building up manifests, etc. It sees from Toronto. It sees train 421 inbound, as well as 330 from Sarnia, which comes from Michigan area. Comes through the tunnel, I believe, and it comes from the Detroit area. So it sees those trains, and then it also has a transfer train. I forget the numbers, but because I'm not from that side of the peninsula, but there's 500 series trains. I believe 530, 531, but I'm not positive on that one. That goes to, or 521 or something. I can't remember the numbers.
Something.
Yeah, we know it's 5 something. That's what I just said. So there's a transfer that goes to Buffalo, stops at Fort Erie, which is right across from Buffalo. So NS comes over to interchange with them, and then the rest goes to Buffalo Frontier. So this is, there's not that much industry in the area, or Niagara any longer. Although there is a short line railroad, which is, I think I've gone over this before. This is the short line Trillium. And if I was to go further into the peninsula, whoa, hello, I got lost. There we go. There we go. So I'm actually looking north is that way. I got it tilted because it's a north-south. Oh crap! Here we go. Let's see if I can get my wheel mouse sucks because it's a little sticky. But anyways, okay, good enough. So anyways, this is towards the north, and you're looking up. You're looking towards a westerly direction. Well, there it is, right there. There you go. So let me just turn that a bit. There we go. That's better. That looks a little bit better. So now I was not that long ago, actually a couple months ago, I actually tried to rejoin the Freight Yard Manager group. And for those of you that have known me long enough, you'll know that Freight Yard Manager I've always considered as probably the best railroad simulator on the planet, as opposed to train simulation, which I give that to Run 8. To this day, I haven't seen anything beat either. Run 8's the best. The other ones are great eye candy and nice graphics and really cool looking, but do they perform like a train simulator? Not in my opinion. Do they do the things like a railroad can do, like Freight Yard Manager does? Not in my opinion. Run 8 has a lot of good operation. They're very close to Freight Yard Manager capabilities. Unfortunately, they're only limited within their areas, and their areas are pretty huge. California is a huge area. It takes a huge amount of manpower to make California a working, viable 24-hour, 7-day-a-week system. There's not enough people on even the biggest servers to do that. Thus, just having AI trains alone is not good enough. You have to go beyond that. You have to have AI. You have to have something else in there that focuses entirely on the yards. This is where Freight Yard Manager actually comes in, and in some ways Freight Yard Manager is an interesting system, because what Freight Yard Manager, for those that aren't aware, what that does is it's a network of people who run or operate various yards and industry maps. It's of a view similar to Google, like this, although probably not in Google Earth. It was probably more like this. So this is the same, looking at the same image in the 2D, and it runs, I think, on a much smaller scale. I think the I guess it, from what I was seeing of the Freight Yard Manager video we just saw, it's actually, it can zoom out. The idea is you want to get the scale in there so that you can zoom in and see the details, I suppose, but I'm not that much about eye candy, but I can understand. Originally what I wanted to do is I wanted to go with the Freight Yard Manager approach and try something that was on a black screen. So it was just a yard display. You remember that, Emmett, when I was talking about that. And unlike Freight Yard Manager, where you actually have a control, what happens is you have a control stand where you actually control the engines. It has an automated hump system. or I would say, yeah, it's an automated hump system. You still have to control the engine, I believe, but you can set it at a cruise control speed, and just from what I recall, there's videos on Freight Yard Manager. If you guys want to check it out, I would encourage you to check it out. Personally, I was nagged once I rejoined the community, and the reason why I rejoined the community was not to participate so much in Freight Yard Manager, but get inspiration. That was my goal. And I'm not trying to steal ideas from Freight Yard Manager. I'm trying to get an idea of what Freight Yard Manager does good, and what I could possibly add in or do better, without necessarily having to compete, but just have it in my own vision. There's a Yard Duty that was the predecessor. So Freight Yard Manager, it came from Yard Duty, but Yard Duty was like an abandonware, and then somebody else took it over. I think Yard Duty might still be around, actually.
I think you can still actually.
I don't know. Yard Duty, oh, that's something else. Yeah, see, there's... Nah, that's going to be a tough one to find. It's not a big search. Freight Yard Manager is an easy one, but Yard Duty, I think that's... I think they were going to go into it. I know that one time they were asking me, because they were reprogramming it, they were asking me if I wanted to come along with the program, but I wasn't too sure at the time, and I think that was right around when Run 8 was starting, or I had a different vision, so I declined. But I didn't want to be part of a big team, I guess. Maybe, that was a good thing, maybe it was a bad thing in retrospect, I don't know, but it is what it is. So what I'm trying to do now, I'm okay. Personally, I'm fine with having a black screen as a background, and having a prototypical yard information system display. The problem with that is, if you're in Canada, they have, or at least they used to have, car control centers, where it was run out of Toronto, and you'd be in a car control center, so it'd be like a dispatcher that you toned up on the radio, and you had your train, and they would print out they would send the manifest to the printer, the local printer in the office here. And now I think they do actually have a yardmaster back, and they're not using car control any longer, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I'll show you some of the other. This is in comparison to the yard. Here is the local industry. This is a big industry. So we're dealing with Protec Environmental Solutions. Oxyvinyl. It is Oxyvinyls. Okay, so and SciTech.
Yeah, SciTech.
SciTech, yeah. Yeah, I used to work at SciTech. So SciTech is a much smaller than what it used to be. Actually, the railway line was, I think, owned by SciTech up to Port Robinson. They own the entire line. So Oxyvinyls. This used to be BF Goodrich. For those of you who remember back. Well, I don't know. I mean, BF Goodrich tires. I guess they're still around. But and there's, I don't know. There's other different plants within, but I think Oxyvinyls is pretty much all of it.
Oxyvinyls, and there's Fotec.
Yeah, but I don't think
Oxyvinyl uses the yellow and orange unit, and then the other one.
Nah, I don't know about that. You think so?
I think so, because I only see them in that section.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. I really don't know. So Fotec Environmental Solutions, I don't know. I've been to the recycle plant here, but anyways, that's interesting. So I always thought it was just Oxyvinyl, so yeah, being from the area, you think I would know, but I don't know everything. That's for sure. But anyways, so what happens in Freight Yard Manager is, again, you're actually in control of like a model railroad type interface, where you're controlling the engines. They don't have the graphical tracks. They actually have or they don't have the photo image tracks. They actually have the graphical lines in them. I noticed, and the cars are not looking like real cars. They're looking like polygons for the most part, which is
squares.
yeah, little squares and you know and very simple graphics. Something I can muster up in MS Paint. So I think for me, for my skill level and my ability with graphics, I think that's a possible good starting point. I have to look at I still have to look at what I can do as far as software. I know Quick Basic, or Just Basic, I should say, is my choice, but I think Quick Basic is not Just Basic or Quick Basic. I can't remember.
Liberty Basic?
Huh? No, Liberty Basic. Yes, thank you. So Liberty Basic is the next upgrade above that, and it gives you a few more features than Just Basic, which is free. I think it's Just Basic is the one I use. Okay. So, I have a program that I can snip, but I'm not going to use this one. I'm gonna instead of using Google Earth. The reason why I'm not too fond of I am in Google Maps. Oh, okay. Well, so much for that. I thought I wasn't. Okay. The idea is you want to know what the resolution is, and that's the tricky part. Is what's the resolution and how big is I mean, this is probably one of the easiest ways to find out is when you go in and you see a particular car type, then you can measure at least and put a measuring keep it at a certain measuring, and then I guess put it in a parameter, I guess, for a file to say, okay, this is how long it is, so you can use graphics of any size. I don't know if that's possible or not, but let's just say this. So this is the west end of Port Robinson right here. In Freight Yard Manager, you know, if this is the best resolution you can get, and I don't think I need to get any better than that, then of course you can zoom out and then you can see much more, and possibly the track lines will still be visible. Like if I was to zoom out this yard, let me just zoom out this yard for a minute. So that's not too bad. So that makes it a little bit harder to see, but it's a very long yard, but it's not that wide. So having a scrollable window is certainly. Is that where I wanted it? Was that 20? No, I wanted it right there, didn't I? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's where you wanted it.
No, that's 10. I don't think I wanted to go down to 10, did I? Or no, I wanted that's the deepest zoom right there. So if I want to go to its deepest level, I can. And then I can use a snippet tool here. Let me go so far as to here and see what I can do anyways. I'm not too worried. Like once they're outside that signal here, that's as far as the operations would. So even if he's running a train around and coming back in, if he just sits there and stops past the signal, that's fine. So let me just try this here for a minute. So this is snipping tool, and I'm going to go ahead and give it as much real estate as I can. Now, what can I save that as? Can I save that as anything?
You can really, yeah, you can change.
Oh, I can save it as a PNG. Well, that's good. That's always good. So if I was to go now, I gotta splice all of this together. So if I go PR1. And we'll see if I can splice some of these together. Oh, hello. It's thinking. It's not responding. Oh, that's always great. There we go. Now I'm going to overlap this, so... course, this is where it gets tricky when you get into switches, but I'm going to try 2 for a minute. Well, I'll start the ladder. We'll start the ladder first, and then we'll splice it all together. See how it goes. I don't know why I have it that high up there anyways, but I don't want to get into this crap here like this other stuff. I might as well keep that up there so that I get more of the yard in here, right? Oh crap, yeah, well that's what I wanted to do. Never mind. Forget I said that. I'm not worried too much about those things up there.
Dead.
Yeah, they are pretty much dead. There's nothing in them. I mean, there's tracks, but...
There's a track. The other one doesn't have a track.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure it's connected.
Yeah...
No, it's connected.
Well, it's got a... Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to go up to the switches. I don't care. I think they do store stuff on there. Now I've lost my spot. I don't know where I was, how far left I was. Like right here, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's try that then. I don't know what number I'm on. I can't remember. Oh well. Let's go here.
This is your 4th.
This is my 4th, I think, yeah. Well, if not, this will tell me for sure. PR. Yep. Okay. It's taking forever. It's really like 2 yards almost, or just a big huge lead and then...
Yeah, there's a very long lead, and then a yard, and then there's a lead, and then there's another yardy thingy. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 2 kind of yards. There's like 2 yards, really.
I forget that back in the day I used to read up on the documents on how they used to do it in Freight Yard Manager. Maybe they do it better than that, but whatever. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting to the ladders. Problem is I'm going to get into... Oh, okay. Well, I won't get that thingy in the way, so that's a good sign. Barely. If not, I can go that way, like, you know, right across it, but... What am I on, 6 now?
Yep.
Problem is I went too low. Because it's on a bit of an angle. So it's going upwards, see? I wish you could rotate it at a perfect angle, but you can't. You can with the Google, but oh well. I'll just go in between them. I don't care. Let me just try this for now, and then I can always come back to it. And again, you want the best resolution so you can zoom in or zoom out, so I would think. Yeah, let's go down here.
I like getting that rodent.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it looks cool.
Yeah. Now, splicing this all together is going to be... Now, Scott, he's the artistic expert, so maybe he can give me an idea. And I'm not even too sure if I can use this in my software yet. But I'm going to start just with that end of the yard for now. Okay. So that's the snipping tool. I can close that off. I'll say hi. You know, I don't really pay attention too much to the chat, but I always tell people that. Anyways. Okay. So, that's that. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go into... and the only one I really have, because I'm such an artist, is MS Paint.
The way to do this, there's a few ways we could do this too.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, tell me. Shoot.
So one way we could basically, we could have the different types of cars, which is one way to do it.
No, I'm talking about splicing right now.
I know.
Okay, go on.
But
Go on.
For cars,
Mm-hmm.
we can have color coordination for...
Well, Freight Yard Manager has color coordination.
Yeah, for what type it is.
Yeah, it does that.
Or we can have both color coordination for location that's going to.
Freight Yard Manager has it. You're already on what...
I know. So it's like...
You're already on what Freight Yard Manager does. They're filters.
Yeah.
So you basically... You set whatever filter you want, and the colors will show up so that it's color coded, or it goes by color code by type too.
Yeah.
It'll do various filters. So, yeah, that's fine. That's not a big deal. That's easy to do. Specifying a color or whatever. This is the tricky part. Just getting for me it's the tricky part. So, what I want to do here is I'm going to open one of these up. I don't want to be pictures. I want to go into Port Robinson. There's a lot of, like I said, Scott's probably good at this. He could probably do this in no time. Okay, let me full screen this. It's splicing it and getting it all. Now, what happens when I open it? If I open it, it will automatically remove the old one, won't it? I think. Okay, but that's okay, because I have the clipboard. Yeah. All right. So what I do there... I'm not too sure if I want to use the snipping tool. I think I want to use two. If I've done this correctly in the past, I've done 2 instances of paint. And I started splicing them in. So now I can use that. Now I can use the... So I edit, copy that. Okay. And then I go over to the other instance. And I control V, and that's that. Go back to the other instance here. Open up PR2. Oh, I didn't make that very long. How come the other one was like more than the screen size? That was odd. Okay, well, whatever. Snippet. No, that's not what I want. Why did it do that? Why did snippet go? Oh, okay, never mind. It is a full screen size. Okay, so I want to exit that. Don't make changes to that. Now go in. I could probably just, I don't even have to snip it, but... I don't think I'm a big fan of Canby Street there, but I'll just go like that. I've got to play around with this a little bit. Ooh, I don't like that little border thing either. I didn't see that before.
I think that border. I think it's because you got a little bit of the actual border when you snipped it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I didn't think I did, but let me try it again.
Yeah, see the border on the left?
Yeah, I know, but that's new snip. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I won't go to as close. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. That's the one. So before I do that, I gotta expand the size of this. This is always a pain in the ass. Yes.
Zoom out.
It's scary. I should have put the street there. Oh, ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh.
That's the best you're gonna get it.
Okay. Looks kind of funny.
It does kind of look funny.
I don't mind that part. I mean, I can snip the bottom out. I don't care about that stupid building anyways. Well, it looks pretty good so far. Better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's not perfect. I don't care. Yeah, I'll kill the rest of that. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfectly square or whatever, as long as it's got the yard components in.
Looks kind of cool.
Yeah, because then you zoom in, and then the thing is here, like when you're zooming out, right? See?
You don't even see that it looks weird at all.
What's that?
When you zoom out, it doesn't even look weird at all.
Yeah, it's when you're like right up against it, but because the map does it a certain way, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I am in paint still, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So let me just keep going. I'll go to here for now. Oops, not snipping tool. Well, so far so good. So I've got 7 of these to splice in. The key was the scale, get it at the best resolution possible, and then let the software be able to zoom if necessary, and I haven't figured that part out yet. That might still take a while. Wow, I really butchered some of that. New snip, thank you. Am I on the right one? Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go to the top, I don't care. No, I don't want my face in there. No thanks. I'll go right here. Can I get my face out of there? Or does it matter? I don't like that. No. I don't like my face in there. But now I got this stupid thing. I can only go so far. Let me see if I can get it right there, or right here. Without. Oh man, that's so close. I mean, the signal bridge isn't the end of the world. I don't care. Actually, you know something?
You know that signal bridge isn't even used.
It is.
No, it goes to the old. It goes. To
I know that. I know. It's not that. It's not that. It doesn't matter that much, really. Here, let me try this one down here. That's good enough.
Fine.
That's good.
A little bit of red. Not gonna bother anyone. I think it's just a house. Corner of a house somehow.
Yeah. Okay, so copy. And then we'll go to Untitled. I wonder what happens at the zoom level. Oh, perfect. I was hoping it did that. Oh! That's not good. Undo that. Thank you. Well, there's the signal bridge. And I'm okay with that. What do you think?
That's good.
Alright. I'm not going to get too particular about it.
Looks good to me.
I mean, it looks a little weird with the that comes down and then it gets into its own area, but I can just put it on a background, like a green background or whatever, and then it'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great, I gotta take a leak soon. Figures.
Oh, it shows you recent pictures too in there. So if you ever forget which one you just did.
Yeah, I know. I see that. VR4 is next. I was way the hell over here, wasn't I?
This is the one where you got confused.
Ah, that's why. Yeah. Okay, so I'm already at the whatever those yellow things are. Oh, that's a scale. That's the old scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the one where you got confused.
Yeah. Alrighty. Doesn't take much to get me confused. So, where do I want to go? Snippet? Ah, you idiot. Oh, I could just hit new. Thank you. Processing. Commander data. Processing. Fascinating. Am I on the one? Oh, I am. Good. Oh boy. Thanks. I don't have a reference point. I do, but to get into there, it's like I gotta go wow, like that. There. Oh my god, that's ugly.
You need to go in more.
No, I'm there.
No, you're not.
Oh, you're right.
Still not.
I'm there. No, I was there. It's that I got the reference point right there. See that thing? See that thing?
Okay.
See the two right there? That matches. Do you see?
Yes.
That matches right there. It's good enough for me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not gonna get all picky over a couple pixels. I'm not a graphic person, so okay. So far, not bad. Man, this yard is.
It actually looks cool.
No.
Like how you can just splice together all that stuff.
Yeah, and then you just keep going and okay. Confused again.
Confused.
I'm always confused. So what do I got? 3 more to do?
Yeah,
Maybe
PR5, PR6, and PR7.
Okay. And then I'll talk more about the ideas. PR5 next?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Processing. I feel like an idiot robot. Okay. Very nice. Fascinating. Oh, man. Does he go further to the right? How the hell does he do that? He can't be.
You did something that something did.
Huh?
I don't know.
I couldn't have. Did I? No.
I don't think you did.
Okay.
You confused me.
Okay. Woohoo. Ooh.
We need more space.
I wonder if it'll. It probably won't either. Okay, let me undo it. Do. Wow. Why?
Why? I don't know.
Here. Okay.
That should set us up for a while.
Well, that should give us a whole freaking yard, I would think.
Up to the ladder.
The Y, yeah. Thorold, St. Catharines, yeah. Okay. Okay, I gotta zoom back in. I can't see shit. There we go.
Yay.
Alright. Ooh. No, this is an ugly one. Oh! Okay. Ah, little pile. That little pile of crap.
Sand.
I know. Oh, okay. It's so close.
A little bit right.
I'm okay with
Okay,
it.
fine.
Jesus, Murphy. There's a little triangle piecey thingy there.
Yeah, I know, I see it.
How's that?
That's
It's straight, everything's good. Alright. Cool. Fascinating.
the real question is, how are we going to get rid of the cars?
That you just copy and paste track sections over.
Oh, Control C, Control.
But the whole thing there is you want to. I don't know. Put it this way: Freight Yard Manager doesn't use the track as the background. I want to, I actually want to.
I think it would look cool.
I want to have an invisible line that it follows, so that, like right here, it forms it forms a crossover here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your
like
different
the way
paths.
It looks like in Train Dispatcher.
Yeah, but it's actually going to use the it'll actually use the I don't know what you call it. It'll use
curvature too.
Yeah, well, there's curvature, and that's okay too. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it being perfect eye candy. The whole point of me doing this whole tedious splicing is to make it look nice for those that want to feel like they're watching a train run in a yard. And like I said, I'll get into the different aspects of this. We're almost done right now, at least what I want to do today. And then I can continue from, I think I can remember. You can remember next time, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll be able to go further next time. But Port Robinson 6, open. Yeah, and I'm not going to bore people with this video much longer. But I do want to, at the end of it, explain what I'm thinking. Okay, so okay, that's a perfect one with the cars. Was I at the ladder there? I guess I was.
Yeah, but it wasn't the end of the ladder.
Okay. Oh yeah, I had that stupid thing in the way. Remember? Oh, did I account for that? I wonder. Eee. Well, if worst case scenario, I'll try it. I'll take a look at it, and then if I can probably copy and paste crap over it to get rid of my stupid mug shot there. So you like this crap, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a tricky one because there's no reference. Well, there is now. I see it.
I see a couple.
You see a couple?
Yeah, the light post.
Yeah, I'm looking at the light post, but I'm also looking at...
There's the bush, and then there's the brown piece.
Wish I could photo... I don't know if I'm on it. What brown piece?
So that little line? Not the road.
No, I'm... You're saying the little line.
The line that lines up with, like... Oh, it's hard to explain. Oh, you had it for a second.
Like that?
Go up a little.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it right here. I think I got it. I think I have it.
Yeah, you have it.
Okay. Cool. Does it look right? It looks... whatever.
Yeah, it looks close enough.
It's close enough, yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as it's, not going to... Like, once... Unfortunately, there wasn't as many cars in the yard, or else they would be perfect. But, yeah, my little mugshot got in there somehow. I thought I was concentrating. That's okay. I'll be able to fix that, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy way to fix it.
Yeah. If not, well, we'll see. We'll see what the next one looks like. So we're going to go into 7 now. I think that's the last one we were going to do.
Yeah, PR7's our last one that we have.
For today, anyways. Yeah. Ooh. Did I miss something, or did I do it right?
You did it right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, one.
Because we have both of the white tanks.
Oh, I see. Okay. Am I at the end?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's your other tab. That's your other tab.
Oh, I was going to say, like, that doesn't make sense. There we go. Okay. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, I just had that little white goofy thing. I got rid of my face.
The white thing shouldn't be that hard to get rid of. You'll need to go.
I'm there.
Yeah, you're there.
All right. So that was number 7, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the white thing.
It shouldn't be that hard. All you need to do is replace a little bit of ballast. Then some grass.
Yeah. It's cute. Be an alien type, alien keypad. Because it's on an angle, it makes it a pain in the you know what. But okay, hang on a second here. So I got an idea to do that. If I can get it. Oh, I don't want that much. I just want a little bit. Like that. And it might not be perfect. It won't be the exact bush that's there, but I don't care.
Need the bushes not. Oh, that looks... I couldn't even tell the difference. I couldn't even tell the difference.
All right. All right. So, that being said, let me save this. As Port Robinson. And it's not going to be West, it's just going to be called Port Robinson. So, here's how, in closing, that I want that Kelly Street thing. It's a little bit of a pain, but that's okay.
We can get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm going to probably put a background to match this, or I'll cut off, like, you know, I'll splice down the bottom here, get rid of some of that bush now. Because I don't think it goes any further. Everything else looks like it's going upwards anyways. Which kind of makes it a little scary, because then it's going to come out. It's okay. It doesn't matter. So what would happen is a train would normally come in, and I imagine he would either yard or he would come into at Port Robinson here. It looks like it's a siding, but it's actually a service track. So a lot of times they will come in, pull up here and park there, and then go across and go into the office for a receiving train to the east, or from the east, heading. I guess from the west. They technically call that west that way, even though it's technically north. Now it's north. It's north. It's just the way it happens around the peninsula. Everything's like a big curve. Yeah, horseshoe. Exactly. So instead of what Freight Yard Manager does is it has, like I said, it has a model railroad like throttle that allows the player to control the trains. I don't want that. I want to put in a command structure for the guy who is in the office, I believe here. I'm not here or there. I don't know which one. It's probably this one, but I can't remember. No, that's I can't. I think that's
Probably the big one.
I think it's the big one, but considering everybody's parked there, but who knows? They might be operating there. That I forget what that building is, to be quite honest. But I know we drive out here, and this is as far as we get. But back in the day, I used to ride my bike down this road here. I used to ride my bike all through here. I would cross here, and then this one further on up, it crosses more tracks, like where it goes to the others, and it's really cool. It used to be fun riding my bike in there. This was back before September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
Back in the day where nobody was all scared about, ooh, terrorists are going to blow up the train. No. Even in Canada. Ah! But, yeah, everybody gets all freaked out about crap. But, anyways, I won't get political. So, the trains themselves are going to come in based on radio communication saying that they're arriving. You'll be the yardmaster will be able to see what cars are on the train, its manifest, how many feet it is. The yardmaster will have information knowing how long each track is, and then he can make a judgment as far as how he wants to arrange his yard. The actual trains themselves are going to program as an AI, and you're just going to be able to watch it. So you're going to be able to watch a train come in, do the yard. When switching has to be done, now what happens is, for a perfect example, let's say 421. So 421 comes in from Toronto, from that way, and so does 330 at night. So 421 comes in the morning, sometimes early afternoon. 330 comes in as the evening, later night. Those two trains get combined. They go into various locations. They either go to local service here in Port Robinson, where they switch that one industry. They go to an interchange with Trillium. They go to an interchange at Southern Yard with CP. Or they head to NS in Fort Erie for their interchange, which is right across from Buffalo, or they head into CSX, where they go directly into Frontier Yard. So the only train that they have to build is going outbound. Well, I shouldn't say that. They 521, I think, is the one train. I can't remember these numbers offhand. 531 sounds more like it, but anyways. The one train actually goes and services Southern Yard, which does this interchange with Canadian Pacific, and it does. There's an industry out there as well, which automatically interchanges with Southern Yard, and then Southern Yard's much smaller than this. Then it goes over to Feeder, which is the interchange with Trillium Railway, which is a short line on the other side of the canal on the western side of the peninsula. Trillium runs from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario, or not quite Lake Ontario, but Lake Erie to St. Catharines area, down not too far from us. And the only thing that would have to do at that point is, once the train is built, it's a matter of assigning tracks as to, okay, where are we putting the Southern Yard block? Where are we putting the Southern Yard block? What are we using for, what track are we using for the cars that go to Feeder? What track are we using for NS, the set off there? What cars are local? What cars are this? And then you're assigning tracks. So by then all the yardmaster is doing is assigning what tracks and where to set off and where to lift from. So he has the information. The AI goes out and carries the responses. So I don't know if that is. I'm still trying to figure out if that's. What do you think? Would that be cool to see, watching the trains just follow your instructions? It's more of a relaxing. You're not running the trains.
Like the exact same thing that would be going on if you were a yardmaster. You
exactly.
You should be giving the instructions, but not actually driving the train.
Right.
That's what you're.
And that's the goal. And that's the goal. I don't want to be running the train as a switcher, and I don't. Freight Yard Manager is great, and don't get me wrong, I like Freight Yard Manager. In fact, I wanted to see Freight Yard Manager somehow integrate into a train simulator. I wanted to see it converge into a train simulator. Ideally, I would love to see something like this, quote unquote, converge into a Run 8 train simulator. Mm-hmm. So that once either the commands are somehow interpreted into the AI system of, say, a Run 8, or because this is the problem with Run 8, and this is the fundamental issue that I have in Run 8 right now. The worlds are so... I like the worlds when they're busy enough. I would love to have a server that was just based on Niagara, where all I'm doing is a few trains. But I also love the Class 1 railroads and all the dispatching. I enjoy the dispatching. What I don't want to dispatch is a bunch of AI trains all the time. If I want to do that, I'll go play Train Dispatcher 3. And Train Dispatcher 3, as challenging as it can be, you know, it's fine. I'm okay with it. I've had years of enjoyment over Train Dispatcher 3. But it's gotta be diversified. It can't just be random trains just thrown together because of the hell of it. It has to have an actual schedule. And Run 8 doesn't have a schedule right now. Run 8 just picks things out of a little bubble gum machine, and here you go. Whereas Freight Yard Manager, here's the issues with Freight Yard Manager, and I'll go with what those issues are. The biggest yards are basically, and I've had Toronto Mac Yard. I told you this.
Yeah.
This was before you were born. I had Toronto Mac Yard, and I was the yard master there. It was the coolest thing. And I was actually in communications or partnerships with other yards, like Detroit would send me their trains.
And you had Detroit once too for a little bit.
Well, I did have a Detroit yard as well, Oakwood Yard in Detroit. I did have that. But I would be in communication with Buffalo. I don't think I ever had Buffalo. I'd be in communication with the guy who had the Buffalo map, some of the other local maps, and we would arrange basically an idea as to when we were going to transfer trains. The problem with that is, back then I had a little bit more time. So, and this has happened a lot over the last 10 to 15 years. I've had times where I've had a lot of time, then I've had times where the last 3 to 4 years where I don't have any time. Or I do have time, but I mean, I shouldn't say that. I have free time, but I also have a job. So I can't just be running this all day. And this is where the issue becomes. If you don't have the time to put into it, suddenly everything starts piling up. And you're the only yard master. You can share, you can do some type of share thing. I forget how that works, but basically everything is a supply-demand system as opposed to a scheduled system. And this is where it loses me. Because then there's times where I just want the yard to run. If you're part of a network and all of a sudden, you can't do something, you need an AI to take over. At the same token, I can also program a smart enough AI that would look at the variables as to what yard tracks are available and say, hey, you know something? This isn't that difficult. Mr. AI computer, Commander Data here, is going to say, processing. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to say, fascinating. I have a nut track open.
You should actually integrate that.
I should put his voice into it. I should, but then I'd get copyright hits and all that other. Well, hey, if Run 8 can put the friggin' transformer sound in there.
Transfer.
Yeah. I can do processing and all that other stuff. I don't know. They'd come after me. It would be my luck. Cease and desist. Okay, fine, I'll take it out. But So then now you not only would you have an AI trains, but you also have the AI yardmaster. See how Run 8 can use an AI yardmaster? Imagine if you're in California and you have a server, and suddenly you're able to wake up and you've on a Saturday morning where we're bored like we were, and all of a sudden we got work to do at Barstow. But it's because the AI trains have been running all night. And trains have been arriving, and trains and the hump has been trimmed, and everything is going as if it's a 24/7 fluid operation.
So cool.
It would be awesome.
Would
Because
be so cool.
there is not enough people in the Run 8 community, barely the train sim community, that can control all of that. You've got the biggest class 1 railroads. So you got the biggest class 1 railroads, and you're trying to control, have that many people run, and I this is the thing with different servers. And with all due respect to all the servers that are out there, I respect anybody who puts a server up, and it's a service to the community. But just because one server likes to do it one way doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean I should have to adapt. We should have the ability to play the way we want to. But the problem is, yeah, you can play the way you want to. You can do single player all over the damn place and run AIs to where they're meaningless, but you cannot get as real as it gets as an operation, despite the fact that it has the potential to be as real as it gets. So it has the potential to be as real as it gets, but it's not there because you need people. And there's not enough people to make a railroad. There's not enough people to be on enough servers to make it sustainable. There's not enough people interested in certain jobs, or some of the more boring jobs. Some of the jobs are more interesting than others. I know that for a fact. I know there's certain California runs that are more popular than others. I've seen it. I've seen it when we've had, even if I've only had 10 people on a server at once. I know. Get that phone. Hold on a second.
Oh,
Be quick.
good. Good.
Well, I hope my sound was working this whole time, because I just realized it was flashing, but I don't know. I'm curious. Curious if my sound has been working the whole time. Okay, but anyways, well, I'll check it back later. It's going now, but it stopped there for a second. Okay, so anyways, I was on a nice little thought pattern, and that got interrupted, but what else is new? I can't do anything. So let's go ahead and continue where I was left off here. So you have all this going on, and I've lost my total train of thought, unfortunately, but it's just not enough people, and that's the weakness, and there's not enough servers to adapt to the different desires. Not everybody's into operations. Not everybody's into just running trains. Not everybody's into having every map or the biggest map or running the longest routes. Some people are just interested in a few yards and running some switching. So I would love to see this in Run 8, but it isn't there. Now, the reason why I went with this particular idea, as I said, if I went on the black and white screen, it would look boring for most. Even Scott was admitting that it would probably not be as interesting. But I thought, at least this, you're getting the visual of the trains. I suppose I could put a throttle in there, considering the AI is running it. If you insisted on running the throttle and running the choo-choo, well, then that's fine. But it's nothing like Run 8, so for me, it's a step back. I just want it to do its thing and carry out commands of the Yardmaster and be able to facilitate the operations. This is the kind of things, and for this to be able to continuously run, so each user would be a node. So let's say Port Robinson is my territory, and I'm the Yardmaster of it, which is kind of similar to Freight Yard Manager, except I'm either the Yardmaster or I can grant privileges to others to client me and run as Yardmaster, or go back to AI if nobody is there. But the power would be, of course, to have bigger yards in other locations, and even that, to be able to, as a guest, like imagine if you will, here's my ideal scenario. Imagine, if you will, a network of various Freight Yard Manager like maps. Just like Freight Yard Manager is. It's a very popular, or at least it used to be a very popular, I don't know how popular it is now. Imagine all these maps, and you're a guy who likes live streams, and you come on and you want to see what I'm talking about, because you know I'm going to be talking about trains a lot of times. Imagine, if you will, you can select any location in North America or around, let's say around the world. It doesn't have to be just North America. And then you go to that location and you're virtually seeing virtual trains running. Whether or not they're under human control, human direction, human setup. As a Yardmaster, I can configure how I want my yard to run, at what times the trains are to leave. I could alleviate the schedule. Like let's say, for example, I enjoy running at certain times of the night. Well, I can adapt to a schedule and set the schedule up so that the trains are normally set to arrive at a certain time, or hopefully around a certain time, and go from there. And then it's just a matter of, either waiting for the train to show up or something. It's not so important that when the train shows up, but at least, say if I want to be a Yardmaster, then I can at least command it, but it has to be like one a day. You can't be overloaded with somebody who can run a map. And like what happens is, in Freight Yard Manager, you get a bunch of maps where they can run multiple times a day, and then you got some places where only run one a week. But imagine, if you will, you can go to any map if you just wanted to view to see what was going on, or just get an ETA of when a train is coming, and you had 30 minutes before a train arrived. Then I could go onto the servers and check out the various other trains, other maps, and see what's happening in Toronto Mac Yard. Wouldn't that be cool? Now, I don't know about day and night operations. I'm not too worried about that, to be quite honest. I think it just works just as fine to be on a day background. I'm not going to get into what it looks like at night or whatever. The reason why I think it's nice to have the graphical is because even a Yardmaster usually has a tower, and he usually has some type of visibility as to what's happening in the yard or when the train's coming in and stuff like that. I think it would be much more intuitive to have the extra eye candy and seeing an actual train, even if it's like zoomed out. Like, so what's happening is, if I zoom this out, right? So I'm scrolling across, and I can zoom it out and I can see the train, but it's kind of weird because it's so long. But anyways, I think I got my point across. What do you think? What do you think, Emmett?
I think you did.
I think you did. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
So the next steps for me is probably I'm going to try to. I'm not going to do this on the live stream so much. I think I'm going to splice together these maps, and then I'm going to see if I can get this into just basic and start designating some paths, coordinates like XY coordinates for the train to follow. Basically, what happens is they become what they call in programming is sprites. You're familiar with sprites, I think, Emmett?
Yeah.
Yeah. So each car becomes a sprite. That's actually in motion. When it's not in motion, then it becomes. It could still be a sprite and stops motion, but when it's set out like this, it no longer has to be a sprite. It can be it can just basically respawn itself and say, here, this is where you're placing this. You're repainting it. As soon as it uncouples, it basically flashes for a second. You'll see it in a lot of programs where it goes from a sprite instance to an actual graphical instance. And then it becomes part of the database. It saves the car location to the database, but all of that's controlled locally through the computer. So if I'm hosting this particular yard in not Freight Yard Manager, but if I'm hosting this yard in RTS2, which is the other direction where I'm thinking of going with RTS2, again, this is just a concept right now, but at least it's a concept that has some potential. I got. You know what I gotta do is I gotta throw this onto an angle here. Whoops, not like that. I can draw the lines like going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I cut that out and then put a line there. Anyways, I'll fix that later. We'll make it nice and pretty. And get that down there. I don't care about that little road or whatever. I'll bring this down here, and even if I go like here or something, or I don't know, go that way maybe, down, across, and then everything else will just be like a green background or a dark green background or even black. I don't care. And then this will be a scrollable window in the program. But that'd be cool. All of a sudden, like say right now, for what's happening in Port Robinson, 340, a train just left there. More than likely, they head for its NS interchange and CSX, or it could be still working. We could pop onto my server if I was somebody else and see that train either being made up or if it left yet, and you can virtually watch now. As far as watching trains run through junctions and stuff like that, I know Freight Yard Manager does that. I'm not worried about that kind of thing. Junctions to me are, that's just eye candy. I'm not worried about those things. Once they leave this area, with the exception of doing a runaround move or something like that, or a backup move, once they leave this map, their tail end is gone. They are now into the network. So they would appear again. Not necessarily at Southern Yard. If they got no work at Southern Yard, they don't need to run a train through it. I think it's kind of silly just to have a train run through it unless it has something to do with the yardmaster's duties to say, yeah, go ahead and run a train through it, then that's fine. But otherwise, it could be set to AI and say, hey, if that train comes, go ahead and just run. Eventually hook it up to dispatching, hook it up to possibly another train simulator out there. I don't know, but anyways, that's all I got to say about that for now. So, but I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know on Railroad Transportation Simulator.wikia.com. This is where I am. It's not very active right now, but it's certainly. It's certainly the place where I talk about various things, and I will put a posting up here. So railroadtransportation.wikia.com actually takes you to fandom.com, which is that. But and then we do have forums here. It hasn't had much. We talk about various things, Run 8, other things, whatever. But this used to be mainly for Run 8, but it's changing. So it's changing with the times, with my mood, and really the changing face of Run 8 and the community as far as I'm concerned. It's just the way it is. And like I said, there's no hard feelings, but I got to do something that keeps me happy. So, you know, see what goes on from there. So, anyways, that's about it. There's only one viewer, which is me. So that's about the usual. So I'll end it here, guys, and let me know what you think. Go to the site, post any forum questions. Once this gets posted to YouTube, by all means, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. You guys.